Can you enter the United States on a visitor visa and then adjust your status and get your green card because you're married to a US citizen? I get this question all the time, and it's a really important and complex question to understand if this is your situation. So stay tuned. I'm an immigration attorney based in Austin, Texas, and I guide my clients from around the world on their US immigration journey. I often get questions from people like you who are married to US citizens and want to know, can I just enter the US on my visitor visa and then either get married, or if I'm already married, and apply for my green card in the United States? Two things I want you to be really aware of in this situation. One, this is a really complex legal analysis, and you and your individual situation need to be analyzed by an immigration attorney before you make this choice. The other thing I want you to know is that it is sometimes possible, but it is not always possible. And even if it's possible, it's not always a good idea. So let's talk about why. When you enter the US on your visitor visa, you're entering saying, I'm a visitor. I'm staying here as a visitor. That's my intention. When you then apply for your green card from within the United States, what you're doing is different than what you said you were going to do when you entered with your visitor visa. You're saying, I'm really here to stay permanently. I'm not visiting. I'm married to a US citizen and I want to stay with him or her in this country forever. And I'm applying for my green card from within the country. Now, there's a lot of misinformation about this. There's this idea that if you wait 90 days after you enter, then you can file, and that's no problem. That's a myth. That does not exist. Forget it. That's not real, and it will not tell you whether or not you can win or lose your case. What matters is, what was your intention at the time you entered, and what did you say to immigration, and what happened after you entered? Okay, so what was your intention? If you entered with the intention of staying as a visitor, you really just meant to stay as a visitor, but something happened after you entered, your intention changed, and you're now eligible for a US green card through your marriage, I would feel comfortable doing that case for you. If we can show there was a real change of circumstance, then you may be able to pursue your green card case inside the United States, even though you entered as a visitor. Let me give you an example. A husband and wife are separated. They're going through the process. They've already started the process. They're going through the process. She lives in London. He lives in North Carolina. She enters the US to visit for 3 weeks. After she gets here, she realizes she's pregnant. Because of some medical situation she has, her pregnancy is going to be extremely high risk, and she's really scared to return to her home country and not be with her husband. Well, that's a change in circumstance that didn't exist at the time she entered. That will allow me to make an argument that they decided this after she entered. The intention was not to enter and stay. She already had a return ticket. And so I can do that. So if that's your situation, we might be able to do that. So that's one side of the equation. If you entered with the full intention of being a visitor, but something changed after you entered, and now you want to stay and do your green card case here, that might work out. The full other side is the one that is absolutely not allowed. If you plan to come to the US to get married or to meet your spouse you're already married to and to apply for your green card from here, and you at the border, you know you're going to do this, at the border, you present your visitor visa and they say, I see you have a spouse. Are you planning to stay in the country and apply for your visa? And you say, no, absolutely not. I'm just coming as a visitor. I'm going to leave in 3 weeks. You're not planning to apply for your green card. You're planning to visit. You're planning to do all these other things. That's a lie. You've lied to immigration. You cannot then adjust your status and get your green card through your spouse inside the United States because you lied to immigration at the time you entered. You're going to create a huge problem for yourself if you try and get your green card after having entered on your visitor visa and lied about your intentions. So we know on the one side, if some situation changes, we can do your case. If you lie, we can't do your case. But there's this whole middle ground that's really complex where you have this idea that maybe you might adjust status, but you're not sure. And you don't talk to anyone when you enter. So you don't lie. You've made no lies at the border. You've not lied to anyone. That's really important. And second, there's case law that indicates that your intention at the time you enter may not be a complete bar to adjustment of status if you're married to a US citizen, because US citizens are treated better and differently than other people in US immigration law. So when you're married to a US citizen, you're in kind of the most preferential position. That's the middle ground that's really messy and that If this is your situation and you're already inside the United States, I want you to talk to an immigration attorney to really understand your options before you move forward. Certainly, you cannot say, I'm going to go to the United States to get married and stay, and I'm just going to tell them I'm there as a visitor, and then I'm going to adjust my status. That's the most messy, terrible situation. You can't do that. Everything else, you really need to talk to an attorney and understand your particular situation, what happened, and what are the risks before you move forward. It definitely might be possible, but I don't want you to do it until you've had a really good case analysis. One situation where it's definitely possible is if you entered a really long time ago on a B visitor visa and you overstayed, and now you're married to a US citizen. That is definitely fine. That I know we can do because something changed since you last entered. When you last entered 20 years ago, you didn't even have a US citizen spouse. You didn't even know this person. So you certainly weren't entering with the intention of getting your green card. That's an extreme example of this first situation I was talking about where you entered and then something changed. That case falls into that first situation. But for everybody else, I want you to really have a good consultation, understand your risks and the options before you move forward. Give me a call. Bye.